Ever wondered why telling a woman the honest truth feels like triggering a bomb? Let me drop a truth bomb on you. When you speak the brutal, unfiltered truth to her, what happens? It's like you set off a nuclear meltdown. Tears. Screaming? You don't love me anymore. Oh, but wait. When you lie, when you tell her exactly what she wants to hear, suddenly you're the perfect boyfriend. Shocking, right? Let me peel back the layers of this psychological game you've been tricked into playing. Women don't actually crave the truth. They want you to become a participant in their delusions, to co-sign their emotional fantasies. Here's where it gets twisted. If you refuse to submit, if you dare inject reality into her fantasy world, that's when she flips. It's not because you hurt her feelings. It's because you refuse to sacrifice your integrity for her comfort. And in today's world, that's the ultimate sin in relationships. Let's look at a classic trap. Do these jeans make me look fat? This is not a question. It's a test. She already knows the answer, having scrutinized herself in the mirror for hours before asking. What she's really asking is, will you lie for me? Here's the reality check. If those jeans do make her look fat and you say no, guess what? She knows you're lying. She knows. But that's not the point. The point is, you just sacrifice your perception of reality to protect her feelings. That's what she craves. Let me drop a true story on you. A successful, sharp entrepreneur walks into my office. His wife asks him, "Am I as pretty as I was when we first met?" They've been married 15 years. She's gained 40 pounds, and her self-care is non-existent. He tries to be diplomatic. "You're beautiful to me, honey." Not good enough. She pushes, "But am I as pretty?" He tries the truth. "You're attractive in different ways now." Nuclear meltdown. 3 days of the silent treatment, tears to her friends, threats of divorce. All because he dared acknowledge reality. Meanwhile, she hasn't been to the gym in years, lives on wine and Netflix, and somehow he's the bad guy. Welcome to emotional terrorism. Tell me I'm beautiful, or I'll make your life hell. Agree with my delusion, or face punishment. Here's where it gets deeper. When a man asks, "Am I getting out of shape?" he wants the truth, so he can fix it. When a woman asks, "Do I look fat?" she wants you to fix her feelings about it. And here's the sick truth. Women manipulate reality to protect their feelings and punish any attempt to challenge their emotional narratives. Ever gotten asked impossible questions like, "If I died, would you remarry?" Here's the game. Say yes, and you don't love her enough. Say no, and you're lying. These aren't questions, they're emotional landmines. And the worst part? She's watching you squirm. She gets power over you by manipulating your every word. It's psychological warfare, pure and simple. Now, this isn't just about looks. Women test you with emotionally impossible situations. Will you lie to protect her fantasy world, or will you stay true to yourself, face the consequences, and lose her mind in the process? Let me break it down further. Society has programmed women to believe their feelings matter more than facts. We've built an entire culture around this notion. Happy wife, happy life. Lie to her, protect her delusions, and keep the peace. But what's never told to men is this. If you stop playing this game, you'll escape the trap of emotional manipulation. Men, take control. Your integrity and your truth are not up for negotiation. You lose a part of yourself every time you tell a lie to spare her feelings. You are undermining your own credibility each time you claim that she looks amazing when she doesn't, that her cuisine is delicious when it's awful, or that her batshit crazy friend is kind. She is teaching you to be her emotional slave while you're teaching yourself to lie. Hey, Rand, a philosopher, wrote on this idea of values becoming corrupted in the name of love. According to her writing, the ultimate test of loyalty is getting someone to compromise their morals for you. This is precisely what's taking place. Women do not wish for you to find them attractive, since it shows they have control over your perception of reality. They want you to think they're lovely even when you don't. In my practice, I see this all the time. Men who have been subjected to these emotional tests for years have become so mentally __ that they're no longer even aware of their own thoughts. They are practically unable to give you their honest view on anything. They begin figuring out which response will result in the least amount of emotional terrorism right away. They have been conditioned to put the feelings of women before their own understanding of the world. This is the ideal illustration. My client's wife launches a modest company selling essential oils or multi-level marketing products, __. After 6 months, she has $5,000 in debt and is leaking money. Do you think my business will succeed? She asks him. This individual now holds an MBA. He can spot a failing company when he sees one. What does he say, though? Naturally, honey, you're doing well. $10,000 in debt 6 months later. Shall I continue? Yes, darling. It takes time to succeed. $20,000 in debt after a year. At last, she resigns and places the responsibility on him. Why didn't you advise me against it? Since you taught him not to be honest with you. That's the reason. You rewarded falsehoods and punished honesty. You're startled that he deceives you now. This is how women communicate in a crazy way. They punish honesty harshly even if they claim to value it. They claim that communication is what they desire, but only if you say what they want to hear. They claim to desire emotional closeness, yet they will use your emotional openness against you in the future. You claim to dislike my mother. Yes, you asked for my honest assessment 6 months ago. It's a weapon now. Because you insisted on complete honesty, you acknowledge that you find other women appealing. It is now proof of unavoidable cheating. Every information you reveal feeds into her emotional arsenal. Let's also discuss the misconception that women are better communicators. Really? What is better? Because what I observe is communication that is actually emotional manipulation. I need reassurance, they claim, but instead they pose trap questions. I'm feeling insecure, they remark, but instead they make things dramatic. They expect you to be a mind readater rather than express their needs openly. I'm hungry, a man declares. Come on, let's eat. I don't know, a woman says. What would you like? Not that, please. No, not that either. Why don't you just choose something, I wonder? Okay, anything. Even my hunger has subsided. Superior communication isn't that. Emotional chaos is what that is relying on your partner to interpret your emotions, predict your responses, and negotiate your emotional maze while you give them no real clues about what you desire. Do you know what's actually going on? Women will beg you to tell them lies outright. Assure me that everything will work out. But what if it isn't? What if she is requesting assurances rather than confronting reality, and you are both unemployed and facing homelessness? Telling her the truth, however, will make matters worse. We must do something. You're unsupportive and negative. I spoke with a female colleague who works as a therapist. She is explaining to me that women require emotional affirmation rather than answers. I replied, so if a woman's house is on fire, I should validate her feelings about the smoke instead of grabbing a fire extinguisher. Yes, validate first, then solve, she truly said. We're dealing with that degree of craziness. This is the trend I keep seeing. Women cause issues by making poor choices. A woman demands a falsehood from a man, claiming that the issue is not her fault. Man is honest about the issue. The woman loses it over the man's lack of encouragement. People learn to tell lies. Later, the woman reports that the male is dishonest in his communication. A__. Circus is what it is. They also question why guys emotionally withdraw. Because every emotion you convey and every truth you share turns into ammo. Guys stop being emotionally open. You tell her that job is causing you stress. The next battle. Your job is more important to you than I am. You acknowledge that money is a concern for you. It is expected of you to be either one with strength. You have similar anxieties. A true man with his _ together is what I need. In actuality, most women are incapable of enduring male integrity. They claim to be interested in our thoughts, but in reality, they are not. You believe your wife wants to know that you regret getting married and that you have fantasies about her sister, so young, that you occasionally have dreams of vanishing and beginning anew. No, She prefers the Disneyized, sanitized, and female-approved version of your ideas. Men therefore acquire the art of lying. Constant little lies, typically not large ones. Yes, you cook really well. No, she wasn't in my line of sight. Naturally, I was paying attention. Your mom is very beautiful. I enjoy going shopping on Sundays. One day you discover that you haven't given your wife the whole truth in years due to death by 1,000 dishonest wounds. This is the worst part. Women are aware of our deceit. They must be aware. No one is that unaware. But the deception is more appealing to them than the truth. They would rather have a man who will compromise his morals for their convenience than one who values them enough to be truthful. Instead of an honest wolf, they would prefer to have a lying lapdog. A unique form of relationship hell is created as a result. She punishes dishonesty while demanding it. She doesn't seek answers, but she does ask questions. She designs tests for which there is no correct answer. She then questions why the partnership isn't communicating. You've made communication impossible, thus there isn't any. Every interaction has become an emotional minefield because of you, when lying is required and the truth is penalized. I'll tell you something that will make every woman who reads this furious. The alleged emotional inaccessibility of men is a logical reaction to the emotional terrorism of women. This is not how we are born. Mothers who punished honesty, girlfriends who used vulnerability as a weapon, and wives who demanded lies under the cover of support are the ones who taught us this. Are you curious as to why your partner doesn't feel the same way? Because you turned people against him the last time he did. You stopped respecting him when he was forthright about his anxieties. You punished him for days the last time he revealed an uncomfortable truth to you. He doesn't lack emotional availability. He is a strategic emotional manipulator. He has discovered that under your emotional dictatorship, it is safer to be silent than to speak the truth. I'll give you an example from the actual world. Guy approaches me. For years, his wife has been putting on weight. His appeal is waning. She queries him as to why they no longer have sex. He makes an effort to be kind. I'm simply anxious. Insufficient. She continues to press. At last, he breaks down. Be honest with her. His appeal is being impacted by his weight. What takes place? Is she appreciative of his candor? Has she reached the gym's number? He's shallow. She tells everyone, underscoring her social media, her friends, and her family. My spouse claims that I'm too overweight for him. Conveniently, omitting the fact that she pressed for the truth, demanded it, and turned down his attempts at kindness. He is now the antagonist for providing an honest response to the query she insisted on posing. For this reason, when women inquire about our thoughts, males learn to simply remain silent, because the truth is always safer than anything else. We cannot be harmed by anything. 3-day battles are not started by anything. Nothing is shared to your sister's group chat as a screenshot. The part that is truly sick. Women actively seek out men who lie, notwithstanding their complaints about dishonest men. On the first date, the smooth-talking player who tells her she's the most attractive woman he's ever seen gets dumped. The sincere man who says he wants to know her further and that she seems like a wonderful person. Not a spark. They wonder why they wind up with dishonest men after rewarding falsehoods and punishing honesty from the start. What is the most frequent grievance I hear from married women? I no longer feel unique because of him. In other words, he stopped deceiving me. Because pretending she's more attractive than she actually is usually what makes her feel unique. More significant than she is and more fascinating than she is. Instead of revealing reality, it entails sustaining her illusions. God forbid you ever call a woman irrational, even when she is acting in a fully, objectively, and verifiably crazy manner. You fail to text her that you would be 5 minutes late. So she yells, "I'm not being irrational," as you start tossing plates. It is considered abuse to even imply that her feelings might not be entirely in line with reality. When I say that ladies go crazy when you tell them the truth, I mean this. Their entire identity has been based on delusions. I can cook really well. No, everything you see ate is prefabricated. You work part-time and spend 4 hours on Instagram, and I'm really busy. I drive well. This year, you've been in 3 accidents. However, it seems that bringing up any of this constitutes emotional assault. Here's what I've observed. Women who are most vocal about their desire for honesty are typically the ones who are least able to take it. When women claim that they want a true man who tells it like it is, they really mean a man who confidently tells them what they want to hear. They are not interested in true honesty. They seek confirmation from authorities. I provided consultation to a couple whose woman expressed dissatisfaction about their husband's failure to express his genuine emotions. Thus, for one session, we engaged in an exercise that was entirely honest. She started crying within 10 minutes. He shares that her incessant criticism was wearing him down, that he felt disrespected, and that her refusal to work while having leisure time was causing him stress. Everything was simply expressed and true. "This isn't the man I married," she replied. "You've evolved." "No, lady. He is the same individual. For once, he's being honest with you. The truth that you said you desired. However, like the majority of women, your true want was for him to express emotions that boost your self-esteem. Instead of being forthright about how your actions impact him, you wanted him to show how much he needed you. The deception is more profound. Insecurity will be a weapon used by women to compel obedience. You have to compliment my body all the time, which makes me insecure about it. You have to break off your female pals since I'm insecure about them. You have to text me every hour since I'm insecure about being by myself. Insecurity isn't the issue. It's vulnerability masquerading as control. Additionally, you're unsupportive and lack empathy if you don't cooperate and advise her to work on her insecurities rather than taking responsibility for it yourself. According to the current relationship model, a guy must fix a woman's feelings. Man is horrible if he doesn't mend feelings. A man is worse if he proposes that a woman correct her own feelings. For this reason, a lot of males simply check out. They perform the rituals. "Yes, sweetheart. You're correct, my love. Anything you desire, my love." They've learned that doing honorably results in punishment, not because they're weak. The helplessness is learned. They've been taught that suffering is the same as truth. Thus, they opt for thoughtless agreement, the route of least resistance. Are you curious about the true tragedy? Intimacy is destroyed by this dynamic. Truth is necessary for true closeness. It necessitates having the freedom to express your true feelings, ideas, and experiences without worrying about emotional terrorism. However, closeness is rendered impossible when all truths are turned into weapons and all sincere expressions are punished. In the end, you have two strangers pretending to be friends in order to maintain harmony. I encounter couples that haven't had an open discussion for decades. The man tells lies to stay out of trouble. To avoid dealing with reality, the woman acts as though she believes the lies. They aren't lovers. They wonder why they feel alone in their marriage and are co-conspirators in a common deception. Since you're not genuinely connecting, you feel alone. Truth is the antagonist and the remedy in the story you're acting out. It's easy yet not simple. Give up on the game. Refuse to respond when she poses a trap question. I'm not going to answer that trap question. Don't confirm her hallucination when she asks you to. I promise not to tell you lies. Don't say you're sorry when she corrects you for being honest. I was honest with you. It is your problem if you are unable to manage it. Here's the problem, though. Due to their innate programming to always safeguard female feelings, most males won't do this. As mom sobs, give her comfort. Fix it if your girlfriend is upset. The wife is upset. Make amends. The programming is well ingrained, even when they did nothing wrong and she is acting irrationally. Women are aware of this. They weaponize emotional discomfort in women because they are aware that most males are afraid of it. Tears turn into a tool for control. Anger becomes a tool for manipulation. The tacit treatment turns into psychological combat. All because males have been taught that their main duty is to ensure the happiness of women. This is what I advise males to do. It is not your responsibility to control her feelings. Maintaining her illusions is not your responsibility. It is not your responsibility to compromise your morals for her convenience. It's your responsibility to be truthful, establish limits, and allow her to handle her emotions as an adult. She isn't suitable for a relationship if she can't manage that. However, that necessitates something that the majority of contemporary men are ashamed to possess: backbone. The ability to remain composed while witnessing a woman's emotional collapse. The fortitude to speak the truth even when she is in tears. The moral fortitude to stay true to yourself even if doing so costs you peace. Because this is the key. In reality, women don't respect guys who give in to their emotional manipulation. They may get what they want right away, but each time you compromise the truth for their comfort, they come to despise you. They are aware of their irrationality at the back of their minds. They respect you less each time you give in because they know they are controlling you. I've witnessed it countless times. Women constantly strive for approval. At last, the man gives in and tells her what she wants to hear. A lady experiences short-term emotional relief but loses her long-term appeal because the deception wasn't what she truly desired. It was so you could comfort her without lying. She hoped you would somehow reconcile her illusion with reality. And she gets upset with you when you're unable to complete that impossible assignment. This is the unachievable situation that modern males find themselves in. Be honest and confront emotional terrorism. You can lose her respect by lying. Attempt to appear diplomatic while facing accusations of evasiveness. Remain mute and receive criticism for not speaking up. The game is rigged, therefore there is no chance to win. Refusing to play is the only winning strategy. Are you curious as to why partnerships used to be more stable? Because honesty was prized and duties were obvious. A man's word held significance. Hysteria was the term used to describe a woman's emotional manipulation that prevented her from expressing her needs. There were repercussions for acting irrationally. We have now pathized male honesty and normalized emotional terrorism in women. Many women in today's dating market have been convinced that their emotions are real. Their deception is empowerment, and their fantasies are real. They then question why they are unable to locate a genuine man. There are actual men. Simply put, they have no interest in engaging in your emotional games. They don't want to be in partnerships where telling lies is required and telling the truth is punished. What is the male response then? It's easy. Quit lying. Quit endorsing illusions. Give up taking part in the charade. Tell the truth. Let the chips fall where they may and be straightforward. She will go mad, yes. She will indeed discipline you. Yes, she may go. However, living a truthful life is preferable to dying a lie. If any of the women reading this are complaining about misogyny, try this for a week. Avoid posing any trap questions. Don't expect approval. Honesty should not be punished. When you don't want to hear what your man has to say, say, "Thank you for being honest," and mean it. Observe the results. When your man isn't scared of emotional terrorism, you could be surprised at how much he opens up, but most won't because it's simpler to demand cozy lies than to confront hard realities. Blaming men for their lack of emotional availability is simpler than acknowledging that you have made emotional availability risky. Staying in your fantasies is easier than putting up the effort to evolve. Comment below with the craziest trap question you've ever encountered. What is the most absurd thing you have ever been asked to lie about? When did you come to the conclusion that being honest was the incorrect course of action? Men need to know they are not alone in this madness, so share your story. Additionally, it's possible that some women will read these remarks and understand the harm they're causing to the men they love. Music